I'll tell you what. Can't tell with the camera. Whatever. It's like falling. Uh, check this out. It's pretty incredible that like pork is the most affordable thing on the market. Uh, and it's like the most infected with like the bird flu, other than the birds. But so it's it's Easter weekend, and really wanted to smoke this thing. I got a basic, uh, not like a crazy guy smoker. It's just a regular ass. It's actually the cheapest one that good old Wally World sold. Yeah, I love it. It's got a perfect firebox on it. I've definitely dried out some pork chops on it, and I've also like cooked some really, really awesome meals on it. But it's currently like 4 in the morning. Can't sleep. Just gonna smoke this thing today, but I figured maybe low and slow in the oven with the right seasonings. And we might have ourselves a pretty good little Easter meal. I hate working with pork. I don't. Well, I love cooking it. It's the one of the easiest things to cook. I mean, this is gonna. I mean, this is a lot of fat on there. We might trim just a little bit of that off, or I might just leave it. This is gonna turn into a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful batch of pulled pork. Wonderful batch of pulled pork. Any peppermill fans out there? Peppermills used to not be popular. Then, like hipsters made peppermills popular again. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to mix up a little seasoning here. I'm going to use a little binder on it. I'm not much of a binder guy unless I'm smoking it, but I'm going to use a little bit of a binder. And I may try to figure out how to actually elevate this off of this pan because I don't like it when the meat sits in its own grease like that. Something like this isn't really going to dry out, especially not at a decently low temperature. We're going to give it a shot. So, the dirty ass bowl, we're not going to use that one. Uh, Wonderful. Okay. What I'm going with is Cajun seasoning. A lot of people over season meat. You don't have to season a whole lot. Got Shake On barbecue seasoning. Not sponsored by any of these guys. This is some of the best stuff though. If you can't get it locally, then you should probably go online and try to find it somewhere. I bought it at Sam's. So if you got a Sam's locally, but also I'm not trying to give Sam's any business. They'll need the help. If you don't like giant corporate entities, subscribe to this channel. Because your boy does not like giant corporate entities. Maybe he's fucking sick. Excuse my language. And I was debating against it, but we're gonna go a little garlic powder. Just a little bit of garlic powder. Instead of using good old salt, we're gonna use some nature seasoning. I know there's already salt in the other stuff, but we'll need it when the time comes. Fun part. Anybody else keep gloves in the house? Always keep your knives sharp, people. This one is not all that sharp. Mm-hmm. But I know that should go. Let's transfer this big bastard. Yeah, this is maybe a little odd to say, but I often think that people don't think about where their food comes from enough. And oftentimes people don't think about the thing that they're eating, uh, you being alive. Really not all that long ago. This thing was probably having a miserable life and it was kind of a factory farm. Hey, listen, you and I didn't put him there. So don't feel bad. I mean, you can feel bad for the pig and feel bad for the people that have to work in those places and all that other stuff until you're blue in the face. But at the end of the day, we got to eat. We got to eat this shank of hog to celebrate Jesus on Easter. But for real, if you ain't having this on Easter, just get your life together, man. You want to do it a little dessert style, little couple day old bananas, mix it in with that, little brown sugar. Shit, don't even know what you're talking about. Okay, mustard on pork is a weird thing. It does work as a binder though. Not too worried about the binder portion of this adventure. Boy, that is a lot of. Wonder if I'll regret not doing anything about that. And I'll tell you what, there is not going to be a way to get this off. I'll say hell with it. I'm going to leave it on. Spillage. You know, I prefer, this is probably unpopular opinion, I prefer meat smoked with no seasoning on it, cooked, uh, nothing fancy. Wood fire. I'm not even a fan of these pellet or, an electric smoker I've used dozens of times. That's a real good time. Uh, I don't, give me something simple. Give me something I can operate. This chili powder that's in there is going to come out real, real nice. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I really don't want that fat. Burn through some gloves with this top binder that we're going to use here is the secret freaking weapon, man. Thinking about some sweet potatoes to go with this. I think I see some. It's awesome. Oh yeah. And that's a meat rub right there. That is one heck of a meat rub. So I don't even know who's watching because I'm not looking at any of that stuff. I did glance at some comments. This is an enormous Boston butt that I'm making. I think it's mostly fat. I think the butcher sold us mostly fat. When I say butcher, I mean supermarket, chain supermarket. But yeah, we're just, I was gonna smoke this today, but the rain, I'm sure, depending on where you're at, if you're in the US, you're probably experiencing some amount of rain. It's been really awful. Shout out to the homies at the Kentucky Tennessee border. Flooding. No, that's rough. Thinking about y'all, glad it ain't me. Good old meat rub. Okay, on to the final frontier. This could potentially destroy the whole kitchen, so stay tuned. I just don't know if there's any way that's possible. One way to really find out. Not one to remain curious. Rather try and find out. That cap up. Cap up. Okay. Double safety. I think that'll work charmingly. As long as there's not an earthquake. You guys can see the rest of my kitchen, you would be aboard. It's a freaking mess. There's actually a couple of shorts that I've made of me doing some dishes. So I'm not looking to blast this thing into outer space. What we do want is for it to cook at a pretty consistent temperature. Uh, that's why I have it elevated on this. You might be looking at this and be like, Jesus Christ, this looks unnecessary, but getting that heat underneath it, when you place something just flat on this or flat inside of this, heat isn't really encompassing the whole thing. You want to look at it as the oven itself is producing heat to go all around it. You really want that heat to get up underneath there, especially with something like this. Uh, and then also, this fat's going to be rendering itself down, running down the sides of it. And one thing that's going to do is pool up inside of this pan. And I just, we've all had pork that's been sitting in the grease. Listen, there's nothing wrong with it, but I just this one time, I don't feel like doing that. So I'm willing to take the risk of destroying this flimsy thing that came out of a toaster oven, I think. I'll probably post some after pictures, some shorts. I mean, thanks for tuning into the live stream. I'll probably turn this into just like a regular video. Uh, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed watching me rub some meat.